So I'm going to be doing a May/June wrap up because I really didn't read that many books in in June. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am Jaleesa, and if you're new here, welcome. I think in June I read like 2 books maybe, which is weird because I was pretty sure I read like 4 or 5. So I'm doing a May and June wrap up. So let's just get right into the video. I'm gonna start with my May reads first because those are the oldest books I've read. So the first book on my list is 4 Days of You and Me by Miranda Kenneally. I will go into depth a little bit about this book. So it follows Alex and what's her name? It's been so long. Alex and Lulu. They grew up together in the same neighborhood, and Alex is like this baseball star, and Lulu's like really smart. And every year at the end of the year they have a trip. So like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, they have a trip at the end of the school year. And every year at this trip, somehow, some way, Alex and Lulu always like either come together or fall apart, or like both. So I'm not sure which year they actually do date, but they do end up dating one of these school years. And it's really good for a while, and then they break up. And then like the senior trip is like really awkward. But like each trip they kind of learn more about the other, and their relationship kind of matures a little bit each year. And it's really, really cute. I like books that involve like romance and like trips. I don't know, I just love traveling. So naturally I like books that involve like traveling or trips and like love at the same time. I read this book in June, I believe. Is The Bells by Dhonielle Clayton. What to say about The Bells? Let me start out by saying it was good. It was a good book. Let me also state that I am not a fantasy reader. I am very much a romance reader, and I don't mean like, I mean like romance, like the fluffy stuff. I'm not a fantasy romance reader, so this was different for me. It had like a smidgen of romance. Most of it was just fantasy, and so a lot of it was world building in the beginning, which could be because of the book. So the basis of this book, it follows a girl, Camille. She's a belle, which bells are these girls who are gifted with these powers called arcana, and it helps them make people beautiful. So in this time, think about like Hunger Games, like the eccentric looks. And basically if you're rich, you can afford these treatments, these beauty treatments by the bells. If you can't afford it, you look gray, like your skin's literally gray and your eyes are red. So you're either gray and red, and they're called the Gris, or you have money and you can afford these treatments by the bells and you can be beautiful. The whole book really centered around Camille finding out that being a belle isn't what it seems. It isn't just about making people beautiful. It's something darker underneath all of this that's going on. It's one Princess Sophia and Princess Charlotte. Princess Charlotte is like sick. She's in a coma, and they're trying to help her get out of it so that she can take the throne and become the queen instead of her sister, who is not fit to be the queen. And I mean, it was good. I think the thing that I didn't like about it the most was that it took too long to build up the story. It felt like the plot didn't really start to unfold until the last couple chapters, and I didn't like that I had to wait to the very end of the book to get to like the good stuff. I think for me, books like these I would enjoy more as movies, and that's because I think I'm more visual when it comes to like some fantasy stuff. So next I read I Want to Be Where You Are by Christina Forrest. I have raved about this book to everybody who's asked me about it because it was just that cute. It was perfect. Like, I can't say a single bad thing about it. I really can't. It was cute. It was young black love, young black teenagers. It was road trippy. It had adventure. It had a freaking dog, and I'm an animal person. I love dogs. It follows this girl, Chloe. She is a ballerina. She wants to go try out, audition for this school in New York. Her mom's like, no, you're not going. New York's too far. No. And it's for her last year of high school, so she'd be a senior there. And so the boy across the street, Eli, they grew up together, and they kind of had like a thing, I think, like without ever talking about it. But he blackmails her into going on this trip with her to this audition, and it's in DC. And just like the whole way, it's just like kind of them finding themselves as individuals, them both standing up to their parents for what they want in their dreams, and them both coming together and just being there for one another, and like realizing that this whole time Chloe had one idea of what Eli was like, and Eli had an idea of what Chloe was like, and they were both wrong, and they just learned so much about each other and themselves. It's just so freaking cute, and I could literally do a whole video on this book. So yeah, 5 out of 5 without a doubt, easily. The most recent book I read, I technically read this in July, but like the very beginning. So I've read The Beautiful by Renèe Ahdieh. It was so good to me. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Okay, looking back, I really do feel like a 4 out of 5 might be too high. Definitely 3.5 out of 5. Pushing the 4 out of 5 star range. But 3.5 is still really good to me. It is a paranormal romance. In this book, it is not that direct on who's a vampire and who's not a vampire and who's maybe something else. So it's a lot of guessing for the reader, which I kind of like. I kind of enjoy that part, because the people that I thought were vampires, I was wrong. I was off base the whole time. But it follows a girl, Celine, who leaves Paris to go to New Orleans, and she meets this guy, Sebastian. Sebastian's a part of this group called the Court of Alliance, and they're like really dangerous. Apparently they're mysterious. Nobody really knows what they are or who they are, but they just know to stay far away and keep a distance. And then this guy Michael, who's a detective who is investigating these crimes that are occurring everywhere where Celine happens to be, and they're murders, of course. And so the people are draining their blood, and so they're assuming, like, Celine's thinking like, okay, I don't think vampires are real, but like maybe it's a vampire, like maybe, she's not really sure. But it's a romance novel. There's romance between Sebastian and Celine. Now with this book, I will say that the romance is a very slow burn. Really, you don't get a really good bite of the romance until the very end of the book. Like for me, I didn't like that part, because I like my romance to kind of take place much sooner. But you get these moments in the book where they're in the same space and they're having conversations, and it's like, okay, they're flirting for sure, or like they're both thinking that they have emotions and feelings for the other, but nobody really ever acts on it. And then like when they do try to act on it, something happens and then it just gets cut short. I hate that. Like I don't like the anticipation build up and then it just to fall flat. But I really do enjoy vampire stories, so I enjoyed this book for what it was, for the paranormal aspect. So I mean, but it was really good. I enjoyed it, and I even bought the sequel to the book because I have to know what happens, because the cliffhanger in this book, like there was just no way I was going to be able to skip out on the sequel for a while. So I bought the sequel for this book immediately because it was just that good of an ending anyway. So I enjoyed it a lot. I gave it a 4 or 5 stars. But so that was the end of my video, guys. I feel like I just totally rushed through this whole thing. But yeah, so that was my May/June wrap up. Don't judge me for that, okay? But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to hit subscribe and like and comment, and I will see you guys next time.